This is Stuff You Like, You Can Call Me Ursa, and The Devil Wears Prada is a movie about the price of success, second wave and third wave feminism, and the importance of having really great shoes. The plot, it goeth thusly. This is Andrea Sachs, Andy. She shockingly manages to land a job at Runway, which is basically Vogue or possibly mode, even though she knows absolutely nothing about fashion. It's not a particularly easy job. Her colleagues are irritating and daft.
They call them clackers. The sound that their stilettos make in the marble lobby, it's like clack, 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 clack.
And her boss is very, very demanding, to put it mildly.
She is not happy unless everyone around her is panicked, nauseous, or suicidal.
But nonetheless, if she can stick it out for a year, she can have any job she wants. Andy starts out by kind of sucking at the job, complaining to all her friends about her mean boss, and generally not really trying very hard. I mean, she's sticking it out, but she's not excelling. And then this happens.
This place, where so many people would die to work, you only deign to work. And you want to know why she doesn't kiss you on the forehead and give you a gold star on your homework at the end of the day.
And she's like, you know what? Maybe I should try and fit in at my job and work a little harder. Even if the requirements for fitting in are really stupid, like wearing ridiculous shoes that will destroy your lower back, or dieting to fit into clothes that you could not afford to buy in your size anyway. This is actually quite an important step in Andy's development, because she comes from a generation, and particularly from a set of parents, who want her to be happy, but on their terms. Andy is the product of gold stars for effort and taking tests and trying to make sure that everyone knows they're a special snowflake regardless. And she has worked very hard to be the specialist snowflake of them all, but she has turned down law school, her parents' preferred career track for her, in order to take this job so that she can become a journalist. And being a journalist requires starting at the bottom in her first job. But it has to be said that Miranda, while tough and impossibly demanding, is just a caricature of what happens to many people when they hit their first job anyway.
I would just like a little credit for the fact that I'm killing myself trying.
Nobody's cheering them on anymore, nobody's telling them they've done a good job, they're low on the totem pole and largely ignored, and people don't like being ignored. Or being told that they're not trying.
Be serious. You are not trying. You are whining.
So she starts trying. And then her friends, previously decent enough, become kind of jerkish. She just give you a $1,900 bag. Do not taunt the tightly wound.
No, you guys didn't have to be such assholes.
She doesn't deviate from her plan to do it for a year and then stop, and despite the film's best efforts, I never really felt like she had actually sold her soul for shoes.
You used to say this was just a job. You used to make fun of the Runway girls. What happened? Now you've become one of them.
I wasn't convinced, but everyone else in the story apparently is convinced, and I don't get it because they are young professionals in New York City.
The jobs that pay the rent.
The job that pay the rent.
Jobs that pay the rent.
Have they just forgotten this lesson that sometimes you just have to take the crappy job and suck it up and deal? I fail to see any point in the film where Andy doesn't act in at least a somewhat professional manner, and where she doesn't act with at least some care towards her personal life. And then because she's trying and she's actually doing well at her job and she is fulfilling expectations, her boss starts to respect or like her. Probably more like respect, to be honest. And because she is an extremely intelligent young woman, she manages to, outshine Emily, who is an interesting character, but not terribly bright. And then this happens.
Paris is the most important week of my entire year. I need the best possible team with me. That no longer includes Emily. If you don't go, I'll assume you're not serious about your future at Runway or any other publication.
Right. There are several points in this movie where it tries to make a point and succeeds, and there are some other points where it tries to make a point and it fails really hard. And this is one of those moments, which is unfortunate because this moment is kind of key. I appreciate the effort, but no, it just didn't work. Let me tell you why. This is presented as the moment when Andy sacrifices her integrity and becomes just like Miranda. She goes to Paris instead of Emily, and this is presented by Emily as a betrayal, and Andy acts like it's a betrayal, but it's not. Listen, Andy. Listen to your boyfriend when he says something that's actually sensible for once.
Your job sucks and your boss is a wacko.
True. But the framing of this is really stupid.
Face it, Andy. You sold your soul the day you put on that first pair of Jimmy Choos.
Emily is amazing as a character. She is hilarious and she is bitchy and she is not very bright, but she is utterly fabulous throughout. But she's also wrong at this moment. Because Andy's choices are actually 1. Quit and then never work in this industry again. Or 2. Suck it up and deal. Bosses do not hand out assignments based on how it will make their employees feel. And yes, it's a nasty move. And yes, Emily will be disappointed. And yes, it's probably, at least partially, a mind game on Miranda's part. But A, Emily will get over it. And B, Emily isn't the right choice for Paris. And C, again, apparently unlike Emily, whose goal in life is to move beyond the need for sustenance, you need to eat, Andy. And you want a career after this is over, right? I mean, it may feel icky, but that doesn't make it wrong. Miranda pays you. She's not asking you to do anything illegal or even immoral. She has made a decision, and so you can either quit in a fit of pique or suck it up and deal. So Andy and her boyfriend break up, and she goes to Paris and she sleeps with this other guy, and then blah blah blah. She decides that she really doesn't want to be Miranda. Because Miranda has sacrificed 2 marriages and the happiness of a long-term colleague for her job, and that's not something Andy wants to do. So Andy quits. But Miranda gives her a recommendation regardless, so Andy can now get the job she wants as a reporter. She reconciles with her boyfriend, and everything ends more or less happily. So what's the film about? Well, a lot of things, not least the ridiculous lengths to which people sometimes have to go to keep jobs that they don't even really like because they need to pay their bills. But you know what I think?
Okay, she's tough, but if Miranda were a man, no one would notice anything about her except how great she is at her job.
There he is, waiting for her again.
I don't really care what anybody writes about me. But my girls, it's just so unfair to the girls.
This is a story about Miranda Priestly and the price of stellar success. And the price of success is 1, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. 2, your family. 3, your spouse. 4, your ex-spouse. 5, screwing over your friends to keep a handle on power. And 6, not being able to control the rest of your life, because life is fundamentally uncontrollable.
Let me know when your whole life goes up in smoke. When is it's time for a promotion?
It's cutthroat and it's transient and it's guaranteed to make you a horrible human being, because when a person has conquered all of their sins, pride is the sin that will conquer them.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants to be us.
And Andy's arc would like to tell you that you don't have to be that person to succeed anymore. You don't have to have your head stuck up your own backside or be a robot to make it in the corporate world. That's what they're trying for, I think. But that only works because Miranda, in her single moment of sympathy, would also like to believe that you don't have to be that person to succeed. That's why we get the Miranda Ex Machina ending that we do. I mean, also because it's the ending of the book, but thematically in the film it also makes sense. Andy quits spectacularly because she feels like she sold her soul, but Miranda gives her a wonderful, if heartbreaking, recommendation anyway.
Saying that of all the assistants she's ever had, you were by far her biggest disappointment. And if I don't hire you, I am an idiot.
Because she respects the integrity behind the decision. The Devil Wears Prada hangs on Miranda Priestly. She chooses Andy for the job, she chooses her for Paris, and ultimately she gives her the recommendation that allows her to get the job that she really wants. Miranda is the trailblazer and the pioneer and the woman who sacrificed everything and made the hard choices so that she could have the stellar career that she has. Andy is the third wave feminist who gets to benefit from those choices, and thanks to Miranda, she gets to make some different ones. It's nice because it's complicated. It's not as simple as get a job, get a makeover, and now you're set for life. It's about expectations and power, and ambition turning you into a horrible person, and working for someone who seems like a monster but underneath really is just as human as you are. Also, it's about clothes. Can't forget about the clothes.